Hi besties! Okay, so we touched on covered calls earlier, but let's dig into that a little bit more. It's the most common strategy for beginners. It's a little less risky than the rest of options trading, but don't get me wrong, it's still risky, but it's just less risky. Okay, quick review. Expiration, which I just mentioned, is pretty self-explanatory. It's the length of the contract. So you have to hit your strike price before the contract expires. So what's the strike price? It's your target price, whether you want the stock to go up or down. The seller and the buyer both agree upon it. So if you're the buyer and the asset reaches the strike price before the expiration date, you have the option to exercise your contract, which just means that you put the contract into effect. Once it's exercised, it gets assigned to the seller and they're obligated to sell at that point. The underlying is whatever you're buying or selling. So for example, shares of Tesla or Pfizer. When you see quantity, it's the number of shares you're buying or selling. Each options contract represents 100 shares. So sometimes you may have to pay a premium, and a premium is just the cost of the contract, but you have to use the options multiplier, which means you take the cost of the premium times the amount of shares that you're going to buy or sell. So with covered calls, you're risking stock that you already own. The goal is to hopefully generate income by selling out of the money calls on stocks that you already own. So you'd just be playing small ball with those premiums and just bringing in the money. However, if you're assigned, you're obligated to sell those shares, as we mentioned earlier. So just make sure it's something you're okay with parting ways. Some people tend to use this as an exit strategy for stocks that they already want to sell, like Elon Musk, for example. He promised Twitter that he would get rid of 10% of his Tesla stock. So he could use covered calls to make a little bit of additional money while he's selling off his shares. Now, I don't know if he is actually using covered calls, but for the purpose of this video, let's just say he is. So let's just say his strike price is $1,046, right? Later, it hits a high of $1,100 and the buyer exercises their contract. So it gets assigned to Elon Musk and he is obligated to sell. He fulfills his obligation to Twitter and gets rid of his stock, but he also collects a little premium on top of that. And maybe it happens a couple of times and he doesn't lose his stock. Maybe he just collects the premium. So he gets rid of his stock for $1,049 and the buyer gets a $1,100 stock for $1,049. Everybody wins. So let's talk about how you do it. I'm going to show you on TD Thinkorswim because it has paper trading and I have a lot more shares available there than I do in real life. So it'll make for a better example. Okay, first we're going to open up TD Thinkorswim and we're going to go to the trade tab. We have Tesla is the underlying, and then when you come down here, it might be collapsed, but so you'll have to click on it. You'll see a bunch of dates under option chain, and that is the list of dates that you choose from if you want to trade options. So the purple is weeklies and then the black is monthly. If you're in dark mode, I believe the weeklies are yellow or orange and the monthlies are white. So let's click on the first monthly. So as you can see on the left here, you have calls. In the middle, you have strikes. You can change how many you want to see. I like to look at 6. We could look at 8, 10, and so on. And on the right you have puts, but we're just going to focus on the middle and the left right now. So we're going to come over here. It might say something different. For me it says mark. It's the second column. You're going to click on it, go to option theoreticals and Greeks. These are just measurements of sensitivity. Then we're going to go down to delta, which is the probability that the underlying would close in the money. So I don't know if you can see here, but the top 4 are yellow and they also have the highest probability. This means that they're already in the money. The bottom 4 are white and they have lower probabilities and they're out of the money at the moment, but there's still a 54, 53, 52, and 51% chance that they will close in the money. As a seller, you want it to be between 30 and 40%. So these are probably too high. You can always see if there's lower probability as you go down the list, and there might be, and there is. Let's go with 35. So there's a 35% chance that it will close in the money. As you can see, as you go down the list and there's a less likely chance that it will close in the money, the premium also goes down. on both sides. So under ask, this is where you would click if you were to buy a call. Under bid, this is where we're going to click because we're going to be selling a call. So the premium is $43.40. So we're going to multiply that by 100. So the premium is $4,340. And then we come over here and we see that the strike price is $1,210. So we're going to come over here. We're going to click on this. And then this is going to pop up. We're selling, and then value in units here is automatically at -10. This is the number of contracts that you want to sell. And as we said earlier, one contract equals 100 shares. So if you only want to sell 100 shares, you need to make sure you change this to -1, or you'll be selling 1,000 shares. Okay, so we're selling Tesla. The expiration is December 17th, 2021. The strike price is $1,210. It's a call. The premium is $43.40, and it's a limit order. So you want to make sure that this price is sent to the current price or higher, since it's a limit order. So we're going to confirm and send. And one thing you'll notice once you do that is that it says max loss is infinite. It thinks we're selling a naked call, which means we don't have the shares to back it up. So in that case, max loss would be infinite. But for us, it's not, because we do have the shares. So we can only lose our shares, and that's our biggest risk. So just don't worry about this. It's going to be okay. It's not infinite. And then max profit is the premium, right? So the premium is $43.40. That's the max profit because we're multiplying it by 100. Okay, so we're going to hit send. And now we have a little option order right here. Boop. Okay, did we learn a lot today? Leave a comment with any questions. I'll see you soon. Love you. Bye.